in the world of electrostatics, planars, and some of the most crazy implementations that have been introduced in the headphone world, dynamics for all of us still holds a very special place in our hearts. Focal Utopia, Spirit Torino Valkyria, the Atrium, these are all standouts in the dynamic world. It's a very old technology and sometimes, not always, it gets fallen by the wayside. There is too many of them. There are too many of these. This company ERZETIC, I reviewed one of their products many years ago, the Thellia, a sub €1,000 headphone for on-the-go, open back on-ear design. Well, today they are back with this one, and I must admit, the Thellia review was a bit of a mixed bag. They've done something very special here. Hi, I'm CoGCO. Welcome to ConvinceMeAudio. This is the ERZETIC Mania. Let's begin. First and foremost, I would like to extend a massive shout out to ERZETIC for sending this unit in for review and assessment. I do appreciate it. From the Eastern European region of Europe. We often get products from this area of the world, the ambient acoustics, and quite a few others actually over the last few years on this channel, and they always do something very special, something stand out. But like I stated, the Thellia was a bit of a mixed bag for me. It didn't quite make sense. It wasn't quite all genre bound. It was for real instruments. There was quite a bit of roll-off. I mean, the review's right here if you're intrigued by that. But this is their Mania. You pay €1,070 roughly. All the pricing and links will be down below. No affiliate links, just where you can actually go and see where these are available. And if you see it elsewhere, well, that's up to you. Unboxing this is a very understated affair. It's a light big box, as you saw in the intro, and it comes with a fluffy bag. First and foremost, let's talk about the accessories. This actually is the cable that comes with it. As you can see, I've not used it much because this headphone deserves a much better quality cable than the one it comes with. The one it comes with is a little bit stiff, as you can see. It's a bit rigid, and also it tends to kind of fray a little bit at the splitter end like this. I'm not really a very big fan of this cable at all. I think this is the weakest part of this whole review. Nutrix connector, I think it looks like here for me, 3.5 and a screw-on. Is there a screw-on? No, it isn't. I don't know what you are, but no. I don't like the cable. Go away. So I've been using this soft silver cable. Honestly, I think this headphone deserves a cable way above its pay grade, and this one is good enough. I think this might be a Viking weave from a long time ago. This one's a pure silver cable, soft, pliable, and I promise that's not a toilet paper advertisement situation. That is the cable I've been using on this unit. And incidentally, some of you that don't believe in cables making a slight bit of difference to headphones and things, just cover your ears for the next 30 seconds. This headphone is quite susceptible to cable change, so whether you use copper, silver, etc. And I found a balance of a warm silver cable actually does this headphone quite a bit of justice. But you can use copper or silver-plated copper with excellent results. So that's the first gripe I have. I don't actually like that cable that comes with it because this headphone is way in exceed of that performance. This is the Mania. This octagon design has been a trademark of ERZETIC for a while, and they've used resin in this one rather than wood with the screws. Obviously, it's got a touch of DIY, a touch of handmade characteristics about it, but this one is very polished. This one is beautiful. Coming in at 450 grams, you'd feel as though this headphone would be heavy, but its wide leather band headband and its distribution and its lightweight feels as though this should have been the LCDX original weight distribution sort of category. That thing's a monster, and after a while I'll stop listening to it. But this headphone feels like the LCDX to me. It feels like that headphone, but with half the freaking weight. So therefore this is an all-day listening headphone. It's a semi-open design, breathes very well, coming in at 80 ohms, sort of hard to drive, but not as hard as some of the others, let's mention. Thinking of Valkyria or Sasvaras, which is a planar anyway. This headphone has been used since Christmas, up I'd say about 400 hours. I use it on a daily basis with the Audma HPA1 Maestro. That's been the setup for this review predominantly. The Cord Mojo 2 for portable use case, but most of the time this has been at the desk or the reference system behind us, the WA33 JPS Elite, etc. This headphone scales up very, very well. That's the headphone. Very comfortable, beautiful design, lightweight in regards to its weight actually compared to some others. Very, very easy wearing. And we have the mini XLR connections at the bottom of the unit. One little gripe I have here is these caps are rubber and they can come off. I rather have this sliding mechanism be sealed. The sliding mechanism of this headphone, moving the headphones up and down, is quite stiff, and you will definitely never be able to do that on your head. You have to adjust the size. Once you do, then you put it on your head. That's the headphones. Place that here. Thank you, Meze, for sending in your Meta stands. I do appreciate it. Okay, let's jump onto the sound. Like I mentioned, the Thalia previously was a very, very interesting headphone. Real Instruments had a fantastic timbre, excellent attack and weight, but it sounded quite small and it certainly did not work for electronic music. Mania is an all-genre music. Its frequency response and its tonal characteristics is a neutral dark performance that you get. The stage is holographic, open, and you can see elements of sound far away with crystal clear clarity. It's definitely my favorite dynamic headphones. Sonically, technicality-wise, it's on the levels of the ZMF Verity Open, exceeding the Atrium for detail retrieval and cleanliness at half the cost. But you are paying for Zax headphones for the beautiful, incredible wood design as well. So for somebody who can't reach for those headphones, this headphone gives you the Atrium tonality, a touch of LCD5, that lush mid-range, a very balanced sound, and definitely leaning towards real music, but electronic music is an exceptional performer on this. I love this headphone. This headphone has become a daily driver for me in the dynamics category, and it's on my wall in the new studio. No creaks, very balanced, beautifully designed. So let's break down its tonality and frequency response with a few tracks. First of all, let's grab an electronic track from our library. Something from Infected Mushroom, which you guys know is one of my favorites. I'm heavily into electronic music. I think it's 50% of my listening time. So Infected Mushroom, Monster Cat, Noisia, etc. That sort of genre is my forte. It's my go-to, but I spend majority of my time in the studio listening to real music. Classical, rock, jazz, and especially vocals, live vocals. I do mention that we listen to the voice, etc. a lot here when the artists are first introduced before they're destroyed by the panel. And this headphone has soul. This headphone has a smooth frequency response that really, honestly, adheres beautifully to the performance. You don't have things jumping out at you going, no. Most of the time, there are obviously occasions, because it's such a resolving headphone, that badly mastered tracks will highlight that area. Is usually in the upper mid-range, lower treble, where you get this energy that honestly can be quite fatiguing. It's not too bad on this. You can listen to trashy metal and stuff on this, depending on the amp you use. On the Audma, I've had no such issues, and its technical performance has been breathtaking. In this category, honestly, you will not be able to find a dynamic headphone that beats this. No, not on the used market. I'm talking when you buy it directly from the companies, etc. Than the Mania from ERZETIC. This is the gold standard sub $2,500 for me. I love a neutral dark sound characteristics like the Atrium. It's non-fatiguing. It provides this sort of midnight listening where it feels as though you're outside in the garden and you're looking up at the night sky with no pollution, and you see all the stars, all the colors of the cosmos up in the sky. And even the remotest of galaxies feels as though they can be actually reached for and touched. And it gives that element of hovering nature, characteristics of element of sound that pervades the stage. Instrumental timbre on this thing is very, very good. In fact, there are headphones in the $3,000 category that doesn't have as good a timbre as this for real music. Tonal balance, tactility, and timbre is what makes a headphone for me. You can have one key frequency response, which sometimes comes across like a lens that you're looking through the music through. But if it doesn't have the timbre and the tactility and the textural information where you feel as though these are real instruments I'm listening to, my mind just shuts off. For example, the HE1000 SE was a headphone like that for me. I could put up with a mad frequency response, especially that really peaky treble, but the timbre wasn't there for me. I did not care for it. But the Aria Unveil, that's another story which we will discuss in the next review. I can't wait to share that review with you guys. Back to the Mania. Vocals are present, they can come close, but they can also go all the way back for live music, so you can feel like you are outside, I would say 10 or 15 seats from the stage in the auditorium, and you get the big air and the ambience of the room up there. But for electronic music, the stage can come in if it needs to, and there's still the elements of electronic samples that are used usually in the upper mid-range and above can shimmer up and away and still be very articulate and be extremely vivid in the stage. Imaging left to right, front to back is very, very accurate, and it doesn't do the I'm here, I vaguely disappear here, and then I come back here again. No, it goes across the entire stage. I've got quite a few tracks linked for you down below to actually listen to this headphone with. So let's start with the frequency response in the sub-bass category. This is where I have a little problem personally. The sub-bass digs low, but it doesn't seem to break the 30 Hertz marker for me. And not only that, the visceral impact of that sub-bass is present, but it's not really chest hitting. For example, like the Atrium, but it's definitely there, it's clean, it's very quick, and it's very resolving. Mid-bass has got superb attack, good punch. In fact, this is a percussion headphone. It's incredible for drums, like probably some of the best you're going to hear sub 3000. Its timbre, its tactility, its rumble, its weighted attack is spectacular. The upper bass region gives good, excellent support to the treble region, so it doesn't sound thin and overly airy and ethereal. Mid-range is one of his biggest strengths, that sort of dark mid-range sound, sort of like I mentioned, looking up at the sky at midnight, when there isn't pollution to purvey the stars. Its treble region is sort of laid back but airy and open, so it sort of tilts away, giving a very non-fatiguing listening experience. With the Audma, this is a flagship headphone through and through. From comfort, this really interesting design, whether you like it or love it or hate it, that's very subjective, but it's a very interesting design that definitely stands out on your shelf. Let's just put it that way. This one is a comfortable, big headphone. It's not a small headphone at all. Some of its weaknesses for me, I think, is for certain genres and for certain instruments that really do require a very heavy low end, and that's church organs, that's double bass. You get the emotion, you definitely get the textural information and tactility, but I want a bit more visceral rumble in the sub 30 Hertz region, and this shows you that, but you don't feel it too much. But because of its incisiveness and weightiness and attack in the mid bass and around 6 kilohertz, it's not spicy, but it's got a tiniest of elevations where the snap of a snare drum, it's extremely vivid. You don't feel as though you're missing things. It's definitely been tuned in such a way that shows and highlights real instruments, but the wind instruments and things like church organs, for example, in the low end, the rumble, that all-encompassing sound is there, is decent, but there are better. Like Atrium sub-bass is kind of insane. if you've ever heard that headphone. This is a bit more, yeah, I'll show you what I can do. I'm pretty, but that's a bit more visceral. Using this headphone around the office, like walking around with a Mojo 2, etc., or Hugo 2 and 2 Go, or even the P6 Pro from Luxury and Precision has been a good performer, but it's definitely a headphone, I think, unless you're in the P6 Pro category, where this is a desktop listening experience. It's a big headphone. It's sort of sticks out left and right a little bit. So it's definitely a headphone that you would have on the desk. Spectacular though. Conclusion. Mania has become my favorite dynamic headphone sub $2,500, and not only that, it most likely will win the Dynamics headphone of the year for me. It's wonderful. I love listening to music on this headphone with the Maestro. It's such a beautiful setup. The synergy together is glorious. If you've got any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. This company are a bit of a niche, so if there are any questions that requires answering, especially in comparison to other headphones in the dynamic category, like Utopia, like Verité Open, like Atrium that I've not covered here, definitely don't hesitate to actually reach out. Doing a side-by-side comparison with Atrium, Verité and Utopia, I would say Utopia is the most detailed headphone that you're going to find below Valkyria. That's a given. But I think this is almost as detailed as Utopia 2022. The original Utopia was more detailed and detail focused. This is actually closer in tonality to the Utopia 2022, which is going for that neutral dark sound rather than a bright headphone. Versus the Verité, I think the Verité might have a bit more of a sub-bass lift than this one, but they both have the same sort of attack and resolvability, and that is one of my favorite dynamic headphones. Check out the reviews of all of those headphones mentioned here, if not down below. The detail retrieval is definitely above the Atrium, without a doubt. This is a more resolving headphone with a bigger stage, and its timbre is bang on point with the Atrium, at half the cost. In conclusion, should you buy this headphone, I think this should be your first port of call. Sub $2,500 for a dynamic headphone if dynamic is what you're looking for. It's spectacular. And if you like reviews such as these, consider joining Patreon, where you get early access to all of our reviews before anyone else. You get to jump into the private Telegram chat and talk to me and the rest of the community, where we answer all questions all day, every day. It's quite lively over there. And obviously we discuss equipment before they are reviewed and during the review process, so we all learn together as we're going along. So they're definitely ahead of the YouTube curve over on the CMA Audio Lounge Telegram chat. If not, your like, your share and your subscribe is all I require from you, and a couple of comments down below would be nice. Let's have a conversation. I'm Koji CEO. Until the next review.